Yeah, what's going on, family? It's your man B Miles coming to you live once again with another video from the B Miles 84 Conscious channel. And this morning I want to come to y'all with a video talking about how Donald Trump want to talk about the opioid epidemic and why the black community shouldn't really care. But I find it to be very amazing is that, now when it came down to it, back in the 70s, in the 80s and all that, when it came down to the heroin and the crack epidemic, there was no type of compassion and there was no type of state of emergency and no none of that. But but what I noticed is that, they calling this shit now, a national and the public health crisis. And see, when it came down to the drugs in the African American and Latino communities, nobody was up there rushing to to try to stop the drugs. You understand where I'm coming from? And see, what I noticed when we were talking about the opioids last night, one of the things I noticed of what he did was that he was up there talking about we got to stop this plague from coming into our communities. And see, you got to understand something. When, when dealing with white supremacy and all that, they always going to be talking in code. Because, see, the reason why they talking about the opioid epidemic like that, it is because it is affecting Caucasian people. Yes, white people at an alarming rate. And see, black people, you got to understand something, man. When it come down to this drugs and all that, that's part of the reason why now they want to launch a war on drugs, because it's affecting them. And we already know now when it come down to the war on drugs, it's going to be affecting, like quote unquote black people and Latino people as well. And see what's going on in white society right about now. This heroin and this opioid addiction over there is tearing them up, and it's decimating these motherfuckers at an alarming rates that they never seen coming. I'm talking about like back in 2014, it was 52,404 deaths when when it came down to the heroin and the opioid addiction. Then at the same time, back in 2016, I believe 2015, 2016, as a matter of fact, there was a 19% increase. 59,000 of them died last year when it came down to them. Yes, I'm talking about white people. These motherfuckers are dropping like flies like crazy. And they already saying right about now that they actually going to surpass it, this year all the way up to 65,000 deaths. And I'm telling you right about now, I'm gonna actually name a few states. You got Virginia, you got West Virginia, you got my state Maryland, you got New Jersey, you got rural Pennsylvania, you got New York State, you got Vermont, you got Massachusetts, and you got Ohio. And I'm definitely going to tell you, Ohio is the epicenter of it all. They said over there in Ohio, they said over there, they said like over 100 people a day are actually dying. And then at the same time, not to mention, they said the coroners over there are so fucking overwhelmed that on 3 separate occasions, listen to what I'm saying, on 3 separate occasions, they had to get refrigerated trailers for the bodies because they ran out of space in the morgue. You hear what I'm saying? That's how bad out there is really fucking them up. And see, that's part of the reason why I have no sympathy for them, because for one, all of a sudden now you want to be showing all this compassion to the victims. And see what I noticed back in the day when the drugs, when the drugs was affecting us, it was a criminal issue. Now it's affecting white society. Now it's a health issue. Back in the day, it was a war on drugs. Now they calling this shit a public health crisis. It is because it is decimating white people at an alarming rate that they never seen coming. And that's why Donald Trump, and that's why all of these people, they are pouring millions and billions of dollars into this thing to try to combat this thing. But guess what? They can't fucking stop it. They cannot stop this thing. They can't stop it, and they're really trying to find a way to scramble to try to find an answer. And that's part of the reason why I'm not feeling any sympathy for them, because of one, when it came down to us in our community, nobody was showing us any type of compassion. They wasn't just locking up the dealer, they was locking up the damn addicts as well. They wasn't bringing no daggone health clinics like that. They weren't even bringing no health treatment. They wasn't showing no sympathy. I'm talking about they was locking this all up, throw away the key. And if you ask me, a lot of those murders in this city were not black on black crime. They were actually done by police. You understand where I'm coming from? It was a war on drugs, as they say. But all of a sudden now, they showing the victims all different kinds of compassion. And see, And see, that's exactly why I said in my videos, you know what I'm saying, when it came down to the heroin epidemic, I'm not going to show any sympathy. Because when it came down to us and all that, you know what I'm saying, like, when it came down to us and all that, they wasn't showing any type of sympathy. They wasn't showing no type of compassion. I'm talking about it was lock us all up, throw away the key. They came up with all of these draconian laws, all of these Rockefeller laws and all that, and the private prison industrial complex and all that. They was locking this all up in record numbers. And guess what, you know what I mean? Guess what I noticed? I find it to be very funny and very hypocritical how they have not launched a war on drugs, and then at the same time, not to mention, they're not showing this shit all over the news. And you know what I mean? It is because, for one, they do not want to show the world that they are dying out in the record. They are dying out in record numbers that they never seen before. Because you got to understand something. When it comes down to us, we all over the television. Because for one, they want to show us as being the savages, being the criminals, so they can justify the reasons why they want to lock us all up and throw away the key, and at the same time even kill us around right along the way. And see, that's why Donald Trump is talking about it. And I'm actually going to make another video about it because, you know what I mean, we got to really talk about these things. Because these people are dying out in record numbers. I'm talking about in all of these states. In all of these states, man, they are dying out so fast that they can't even keep up with the natural death that the coroners are running out of space for dead bodies in Ohio. They always want to talk about Chicago with the murder rate, but you never hear them all over the television talking about the heroin and the opioid addiction and how fast they dying out. You understand where I'm coming from? So that's why Trump is talking about we want to stop it from coming to town communities. Listen to what he's saying. He said our communities, but guess what? Did you hear him or any of those politicians talking about we want to stop the war on drugs from coming into the black and brown communities? No, they were not. And see, this is their karma. This is their karma, and that's exactly why I don't feel anything. I have no sympathy for them, because when it came down to it, none of them had sympathy. And they said this on the movie Boys in the Hood. If you look at that scene real closely, with Lawrence Fishburne, Morris Chestnut, and Cuba Gooding Jr., when they were talking about gentrification in front of the community, he said drugs wasn't a problem when it was in our community, but it became a problem when it started to show up on Iowa, in Wall Street, and many other places. See, they were already predicting this 26 years ago when it came down to Boys in the Hood. And guess what? All of a sudden now, it's a state of emergency. It's a public health crisis. It's a national state of emergency. It's because it's dying. You know what I mean? It's because white people, Caucasian people, are dying at an alarming rate. They said heroin is the leading cause of death. And they already dying out from like heroin, fentanyl, carfentanil. And you mean to tell me that these people are dying out that fast that you taking the elephant tranquilizer 5,000 times stronger? And if you ask me, there's no sympathy coming from me, because y'all had no sympathy for us. So, you know, I had to put together this video and all that. You know what I'm saying? Bring my thoughts up on this, share, you know what I mean, shed light up on the situation. You know, I felt the need I had to express my thoughts up on this topic. Keep on liking and subscribing to my channel, and I appreciate the love. And this is B Miles coming to you live once again for the B Miles 84 Conscious channel. One love once again. Peace.